Most photographers use 3 or 4 different tools to get from import to delivery. Culling in one app, editing in another, retouching somewhere else. What if you could do all of it in one place? Fewer learning curves, no moving around, and an interface you know well. In this video, we're going to dive into the culling, editing, retouching workflow all inside of Aftershoot without leaving the app. So let's dive in. The first thing we're going to do is grab a folder of images. Now, as always, make sure this is not coming directly off your memory card unless you're using the ingest feature, because what we want to do is just process the raw images themselves, but not off of the memory card. First thing we have to do is choose the genre. This is going to be classified as a portrait and headshot session because it's just a couple people in front of a backdrop. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. And now that our images have imported, I'm going to use the one-click cull and edit tool. Now again, you can cull separately, edit separately. All I have to do is tell it less images. So we're going to go to extreme. Then we're going to choose a profile. We're going to use my profile. We're going to have it crop and straighten for me. And we're going to run a subject mask as well, just in case I need to make any minor tweaks there. We're going to click on next step and we're going to click start cull and edit. Now, the beauty of this entire process is that I don't have to sit and wait for this to complete. Now, it is only 276 images, so it'll be pretty fast. But at the end of the day, you can walk away from this. You can do a whole wedding or a whole shoot, run it, and then come back to it and just do the review process. And in just that short amount of time, we saw 276 images get culled and get edited, and now we get to launch into our final workflow. So now our images are culled and edited using the one-click process, and my job becomes reviewing them as I see fit. Now, what's really cool about this workflow is that I can filter by, say, 5 stars if I only want to see 5-star images, or I can filter by 4 stars and greater if I want to see the 4 and the 5 stars. So I really do get to change how I operate. I can cull and essentially edit at the same time if I'd like. Now, if I click on the cull panel, you'll see there's 43 AI selections. There's the kind of usual stuff where it doesn't know if it's a test shot or if it's important or not. I can always reject those away if I'd like. But what it also does is it still allows me to review images in just a culling panel or in just an editing panel. Now, the way I've started using Aftershoot since we've launched these new features is actually going through and using the flag tool. So I will flag off the images that I actually want to be working on, especially in a case like this. I think my final output was maybe 10 images. So I just kind of went through and just flagged some of the things that I actually want to work on. So you can either cull and flag all at once, or in our case, we can do it as we go through it. I've already flagged off this image. I'm going to hit the enter key and it's going to launch us into our brand new raw editing panel. What's really cool about this is that I no longer have to go to another tool like Lightroom or Capture One. I can do it all inside of Aftershoot. So I can take this image and say, you know what, maybe the shadows need to come up a little bit just to kind of polish up this photo. And then when I'm happy with this, the coolest part is that now all I have to do is click on retouch and it launches me into the retouching panel. Now, if I culled everything beforehand, I flagged it all or made my marks on the images that I wanted to do, I could filter in this same screen by just the flagged photos, and I would get only the flagged images to start working on. So now my cull and edit have completed, and my job is to do my review. Now, with this new layout in Aftershoot, you can either cull and edit at the same time by using the edit panel, or you can run your cull as you traditionally would. One of the things that I love to do is I love to use the spray can mode and flag. So I actually just click on the spray can, I set it up to flag my favorite images, and I just click on the images I want. Now you can see the AI selected 40 photos out of the 274 that we had. I chose 21 of those to actually work on. So now I'm going to pop into our edit panel. Now, I'd mentioned before, you can do this all simultaneously, so you can still use the flag tool inside of the edit panel, so you can still make changes to your selections as you would in the editing panel, but I prefer to do it just in a separate screen, so I have the key faces and all the other really cool tools that I love to use. Now we're going to click on enter because raw rendering is here. We have editing inside of Aftershoot. You no longer need to export these files to, say, Lightroom or Capture One or some other editing program to review your edits. You can actually review the edits inside of Aftershoot and make changes to them as you need to. So we can come in and bump up the shadows a little bit if we need to, or take down the highlights here or there, adjust exposure. We have our HSL sliders as well, so you can make changes to hue, saturation, and luminance as you see fit, as well as color grading. And you have effects like vignette if you want to add or reduce the vignette, you absolutely can, and you can sharpen the images as well, and noise reduction. Now, you do have the crop tool as well. You can come in and just adjust on any crops. So in this case, she forgot to bring her shoes downstairs when we did this photo. This is my daughter. So we're gonna just crop those feet out. And you also have the masking. So when you run an AI mask, you can see that subject mask has already been applied. So if I were to adjust it, you can see the subject changing colors. Now this is that feathered subject mask. We will have the non-feathered version coming very soon, but you can also choose to show or hide that. You can even make adjustments to the mask. So let's just say that her subject actually had angel wings or something behind it. I can absolutely add into the mask if it didn't get picked up. I can also remove from the mask by using the erase tool and just erasing away any mask that I would like to. So I have everything I possibly could want inside of Aftershoot just to get things off the ground before I go to retouching. Now in this case, we're not going to play with the mask, so we just reset it, left it alone. We already played with our crop, so we just make that small adjustment here. And actually, I'm going to center her a little bit more. And now you can straighten the photo as well if you'd like to. Now this photo is done for me. Now there's two ways to go about this. You can either go through and review your edits one by one, make your adjustments, and then head to retouching. Or in this case, we're going to actually just dive straight to retouching on each image because I'm not retouching them all the same. Each one's going to get an individual retouch. So for me, we're going to just bounce over into our retouch panel. So you can see the edited photo has now arrived here. We're going to go ahead and do some acne removal, some blemish removal. We're going to smooth out the face just a little bit. We're going to remove shine. There's not really shine, but we can tone down any of that brightness. We'll brighten up her eyes, a hair here, and we're going to do body smoothing and body blemish on this. So now I've got a pretty well retouched photo right out the gate, but I have some other things I need to deal with. The first one is going to be getting rid of some of this stuff in the background here. So we're going to go ahead and take away the dirty spot on my camera sensor, as well as the corner of the softbox in that photo. So now we've cleaned up the backdrop just a little bit, and we're going to head into our backdrop settings, and I'm going to just swap out this backdrop. So it's like, it's just a sheet. I literally just hung a bed sheet behind because I don't have a white backdrop. So I did a white bed sheet. And now what I can do is actually choose the backdrop that I want to run it on. So I'm going to click on white. Now it's going to be really intense. And this is something that I personally don't want it to do. I want to see some of the texture through because the backdrop is just so much. So what you can actually do is come on in and change the opacity. So I can bring the opacity down to say 50%, maybe a little bit more. Let's go up to 60%. And now the backdrop isn't so powerful. You can see a little bit of texture behind it from the actual white backdrop, so it feels real. It feels like it's all there. Any of the shadows and gradients you can see on the lower right-hand side of her, there, that dark spot that was created by the light is still there because it's somewhat opaque. Now you can do this with all different backdrops. You can just say, hey, you know what, we're going to go for a charcoal backdrop, which looks really awesome. Again, with 60% opacity on the white, it looks great, right? So it's still there. It's still real. You can still see, you know, shadows and everything. So it looks super awesome. Any other adjustments I want to make, I can absolutely do. But in this case, we're done. I'm happy with this. I like the gray. We're going to just click on export and send it on out. So I can use export. I can choose the folder where it's going to go. It's going to automatically send it to the same folder that it's in, but I oftentimes will like to just do one that's called retouch so that there is a defined retouch set of images. Those are my final set of photos. So I click on that and we're going to export just that one photo. Now, what's really cool is that this all can be done in a batch as well. So as I mentioned before, you can absolutely go through, edit all of the photos that you would like to edit. So make any tweaks and adjustments to the actual images that you want to make. So I can take up the shadows or anything on every image. And then when I click on retouch, that same timeline is still here. So all of those changes and adjustments that I've made are here. And then I can go in and batch process. So I can select all the images, go to background. I can add in my, let's go gray background at 50% opacity. And we're going to sync it across all 19 photos. Now, all 19 photos are going to get that new backdrop put behind it. So we can go to the next one, gray backdrop is in, so you can use a batch retouch as well. You can also batch sync and edit. So if you're like, hey, you know what, my shadows are bad on all of the photos, I can sync all 19 photos to bring those shadows up, and then, you know, make a batch correction to the entire gallery. And then when you bring them over to retouch, you can just sync them all across. So your workflow is now anything you want it to be. You can choose to cull and review the cull first, then review the edits, then go to retouching. You can choose to edit the files first and then review the cull. You can cull and edit at the same time, and you can always mix up the order. You can go cull, edit, retouch, any order you want. It's absolutely possible with Aftershoot. And of course, if you're doing any sort of batch adjustments, exporting is simple. To get to your final gallery, you simply select all, click on export, and you choose where you want it to go. You can choose the file naming as well if you would like, and send them all out to JPEG when you're done. One click, one destination, all set, fully culled, fully edited, and retouched gallery is ready to deliver. So if you're tired of jumping between tools after every shoot, give Aftershoot's full workflow a try. Cull, edit, and retouch all in one place.